Good morning, good morning, good morning. We just had a minor accident. It's very minor. I was heating my tea up and it overflowed. Now I have a now I have an opportunity to wipe down the inside of my microwave. So, the universe is giving me that opportunity. Thank you, universe, for giving me an extra task. Good morning, everybody. Universal Taskmaster, the microwave. Good morning. I see you, Aaron. Thank you for being here. Everybody else, too. Marky Z. Z. Yeah, Woz, that's exactly what happened. Oh, jeez. What the? Thank you, T-Task. It's a T-Task. It's an overflowed cup, too. Wait till you see it. Let me show you. Let me show you what the cup looks like when it gets overflowed. There you go. There you go, Pops. Wazzy, my cup overfloweth. It's overflowing with goodness and kindness. Oh, it was. I should have dreamed about the teacup, not the deep fryer. Hey, you're out of line, man. Oh, good morning. I had another set of creepy dreams last night. Just real quick, the one that stands out. I was looking for a book in my dream. I was so stressed and frustrated because I couldn't find my book. I don't even know what book I was looking for. But I do know in my dream, I was like, gosh darn it, I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh my goodness. Where's my book? What's going on? Pop's dreaming lately. Waking up to him. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you, Mr. Phillips. Good morning. Exception and the divine Laura, good morning. I see tacos everywhere. Everywhere. I think I'm going to have a taco for dinner. Sue, I really don't know what book I was looking for, but it was the weirdest thing because I woke up like frustrated. And then I'm like, why am I so... Oh, that's right. I'm looking for a book. I don't know what book. I don't know. Good morning, everybody. Take a few minutes to say hello to each other. And hit the like button. Hit the like button while you're at it. Jesus Christ, it could have been a book of frustration. Hit your screen with the old double tap, and that gives us a like. Remember, the only reason we ask for likes here is because we're narcissists. Excuse me, the only reason we ask is because I want you to feed my ego. Excuse me, I take that back. The only reason we ask is so the algorithm shows the program to more people. Good morning. Pick which of those three is the right answer. Because we're narcissistic, because Pops is an ego freak, or because we want the algorithm to serve more people. Which one do you think it is? Which one do you think it is? Ego. You guys aren't very nice to me right now. Why would you? No, it's only one of those three, Taco. Mr. Phillips. Mr. Phillips. Okay, Mr. Phillips, you are correct. Nippy, you are correct. And Sue is correct. You guys are correct. Seriously. There was a time when I first started IGing and this and that, and oh man, I was dying for those thumbs up likeys. Nah, I could care less about that anymore. I really can't. I just want more people to to play with us. Good deal, Ozzy. Before you do, we want to tell you something today. Stick around. I have a couple of stories about what you just said you're going to do tomorrow. Expanding the network. Sandboxing. I like that, Dando. Oh, Carney. Good morning, Dan. Danny. There's my guy. Anyways, say good morning to each other. Niffy. Niffy. Do me a favor. Just wink. Just wink if wink if today is your anniversary. I've heard two different stories. I've heard it's today and I've heard it's tomorrow. Which is it really? If it's today, give me a winky dinky. Okay? If it's tomorrow, give me a thumbs down. It is tomorrow. Okay. Wazzy. Waz writes to me this morning. Okay? Good morning. I like what Sue said. Why don't you guys just celebrate both days? Huh? Nerdy and Cleany. Super good friends here. Cleany, send me your address. 19 years, Niffy. Cleany, send me your address. I want to send you and Niffy a small token of my appreciation. Wazzy, same thing. Wazzy. Send me an address so I can send you a little something. Because today, Waz writes to me this morning. He says, are you ready? You ready for this? Waz says, hey, let me read it. Today is Cleany and Niffer's anniversary. Then he goes on to qualify it. He goes on to explain how come he knows so well. I know, because it's the same as mine and Jenny's. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. He goes on to say, wait a minute. Okay, Cleany doesn't think it's today. He thinks it's tomorrow. Parentheses, I hope he's not in trouble. Gentlemen, we understand. We know what happens. We know what happens when we forget anniversaries. Okay? Oh yeah, Mr. Phillips, Cleany and Nifra, husband and wife. But then Waz, and we don't really meet Jenny, but God, is she a sweet lady. Waz the calendar guy. Okay? Ignore the cup. Ignore the quality of the cup and the drips. Okay? Nippy and Cleany, send me an address. Wazzy, send me an address. I love celebrating anniversaries because I don't have any. I have a few. I have an anniversary of like when the tea with Pops first started. But I don't really have relationship anniversaries right now. I don't. And I'm not even sad. Sometimes it's a relief. Back in the day, though, when I did have to celebrate anniversaries, I forgot a couple. It doesn't go well when you forget an anniversary. Fellas, make sure you really write it down somewhere and make sure that you write that down somewhere. And I don't care if it's a flower from the garden or maybe do something even nicer. But don't forget the anniversaries. It's a big deal. I once asked my ex-wife, what's the big deal with anniversaries? And she said, okay, what's the big deal with Super Bowls? And I was like, I get it. I get it. What's the big deal with Super Bowls? Jesus Christ in Australia. That's interesting, Sue. So, what's the big deal with anniversaries? The girl answers, what's the big deal with Super Bowls? Do not get him a vacuum cleaner for an anniversary. No, no, no. Everyone knows better than that. No cleaning supplies, okay? Zero cleaning supplies on anniversaries. That's just not something that you want to do, okay? Even if your name is Cleanie. Cleanie knows better, okay? Now the cooking set. Give me another couple of things that you do not get your girl for an anniversary. Which, oh, that's great, Mark. That's great. What do you not get your girl for an anniversary present? Give me a couple more ideas. Okay, vacuum cleaner, Corey D. Not good. Not good. Okay, even if it's an expensive Dyson one, not good. Okay, cookware, no. Cookware, diet pills. Matthew Silliger, if you get her that, you have to give her a safe word too. Okay? Oh, don't get her a washing machine. No. 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 Okay? Don't get her makeup. Don't get her deodorant. Wait. You guys have all kinds of experience here. What not to get your girl? Okay, then what do we get them? All right, let's go to the positive side of this. What do we get them? Okay, Jesus Christ, you're out of line. What do we get them? A push mower. No, Oz, no. No, no, no. An edger, maybe. What do they call them? A blower. No, not that kind of blower. One for leaf blower. A leaf blower. Get her pole dancing lessons. No, Matthew. Matthew, you're early this morning. Get her a massage. Get her fresh flowers. Get her some chocolate. Those are all so basic, though. Give me a creative idea. How about we get her a trip for one to Acapulco? Okay? And the one is I'm going, honey. So you'll have some free time around the house. Oh, jeez. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of things we could get. Get her, that would be nice, classic. Get her a house cleaning for the day. That's a good one. That's actually a really good one. Bring in the old house cleaner, honey. Sit back. Rosa's gonna come in and do the situation. Okay? Mark Osborne, why do I wear a lab coat? Because that's my trademark. That's all. It's the old Paparoonie trademark. Okay? So we trademarked. I'm a copyright. I'm a living copyright. I wear it because I'm usually in the lab. I'm usually in my lab, shroom growing lab situation. But then I take a break and I come and hang out with you guys. And as soon as I'm done with you guys, I'm off to the grow house again. Sometimes I've come here straight from the grow house. Mike Oxbrown, I'm glad you're here. What's the channel about? We talk about mental health, practicing kindness, and sometimes we'll even talk about psilocybin. Sometimes it's a variety show. It's a variety show. Only cool mycologists wear lab coats. It is something that I started doing 5 years ago. 5 years ago, wearing a lab coat, and I think it's the coolest thing. It was the coolest thing I've come up with so far. Thank you, Mike. Let's uh, let's look at a couple of things here, and and then we'll get to work. Work, I say. The most expensive coffee in the world. Thank you, Aaron. Got to goof while learning. You know what? If we enjoy it, back to when I was teaching a lot, engage your class with a little bit of humor, and they like look forward to going to class. They look forward to it. Thomas, you're absolutely right. Thomas Long. Thomas popping in out of nowhere to tell us that the Kopi Luwak is the world's most expensive coffee. The most expensive coffee. Thank you for that compliment, HB. Good morning, CCS, my good friend. A cup of Kopi Luwak can cost as much as $80. One cup. There goes, if you're making 20 bucks an hour, here goes 4 hours worth of work. Boop! Fickle Dickle is here. Good morning, Ficky. Why is it so expensive, Pops? Because it's poop coffee. Somebody ask for further clarification, please. Somebody ask me for further clarification on poop coffee that's costing you 80 bucks a cup. Okay? Talk to me. Who wants to know more about it? Good morning, Billy D. Bill, you send me some great stuff. Thank you. Poop coffee. Okay? Nobody wants to know. Nobody wants to know a thing. Okay? Derek Anderson, how do you know about it? How do you know? Okay, it's monkey poop coffee. It's made from coffee beans that are partially digested and then pooped out by a creature called a civet. C-I-V-E-T. The digestive enzymes of the civet change the structure of the protein in the coffee bean, removing some of the acidity. Poop coffee. Good morning, I see Jolie out there. Good morning, Jolie. How's your move? Are you good? Are you settled in? Herbie, who was the first person to say, I'd really like to take that poop, dig out the coffee beans, the partially digested coffee beans, and brew myself a cup? Who was the first? This kind of freaks me out. Settle in and over here too, Jolie. Porcupines. If I throw a porcupine in the water, is it going to float or is it going to sink? Is it going to float or is it going to sink? Porcupine, boom, into the water. There you go. What happened? What happened to the porcupine? Bloop, 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 bloop. What happened? Corey thinks it's just going to swim. What if it lays on its back and it just floats? It floats, you guys. Porcupines are little floaters. Porcupines have a natural buoyancy because of their hollow quills. Hollow quills, you're right, Cleanie. How about this guy? There's a northern pseudo-scorpion. Sarah, that's freaking me out. Good morning, Sarah. I haven't been freaked out in a while. Thank you for being here. The northern pseudo-scorpion. What's so special about that guy? What is? Is that true, Aaron? You got to get that porcupine quill out immediately? The northern pseudoscorpion can survive without breathing for 17 days. 17 days. They live in the Yukon Territory. How do you not breathe for 17 days? That's it. You ever throw a fit and that's it? I'm going to hold my breath. 17 days later, I'll see ya. That's pretty crazy. How about this one? Do mice like cheese? Do mice like cheese? We sure see it in the cartoons. I see it all the time. But are they really into cheese or not? Pretty cheesy answer. Here's the cheesy answer. Mice really don't like cheese as much as we believe, according to the researchers from the UK's Manchester Metropolitan University. See, the Manchester Metropolitan University is doing serious research. They're checking into whether or not mice like cheese. Jesus Christ in Australia just said he did pest control for 5 years. Is that when you got divorced, Jesus? Is that when the divorce happened? During your pest control era? Oh, getting rid of all the pests, were you? Mice, they prefer fruit and grains. The belief of them liking cheese is really due to pop culture and cartoons. Okay? Jesus Christ, we know now what happened to your wife. Okay? So we had, when we were growing up, my brother brought home a mouse. It had been the teacher in his class. He was 3 grades older than me. 3 grades, yeah. And the teacher had brought a mouse into class to teach, this is elementary school, to teach some kind of a science class or something, right? And then there was a drawing among the students to see which one would get to take the mouse home. My brother won the drawing, but he never told my mom and dad. He didn't tell them. He knew Pops wouldn't want a mouse. He knew our Pops would not want a mouse. So Brosy brings home the mouse and he hides it under, we shared a bedroom. It was a creepy bedroom. Not creepy bad, but you know what we did? I did it. My brother was on the messy side, big time. And I was like Felix, and he was like Oscar. I'm Felix Unger, and he's Oscar Madison, living in the same room. It didn't go well many times, because his side of the room was a wreck, and my side was like pin perfect. Guess what I did? I took black tape, okay? And I ran it up the wall, across the ceiling, down the wall to divide up our room. And if like he would ever leave a shirt on the floor or something, I'd kick it onto his side. But you would walk into the room and it was really clear. There's my side, Felix Unger's side, and there's Oscar Madison's side. And my mom would just open the bedroom door and she would immediately just start yelling at the Oscar side. Okay? I didn't run the tape on the floor, Nippy, just up the wall, across the ceiling, and down. I think I've told this story once before. My mom was a world-class level pool player, billiards player. She won the Los Angeles Open for women way back in the day. My mom could shoot a stick. and we all learned how to play pretty good um, pool, but nothing like my mom. My mom is like, she could have been on Wide World of Sports back in the day. She had a couple of extra pool cues. We always had extra pool cues around the house, okay? So my brother decided, you wait for this, if this is going to freak anybody out, go ahead and change the channel right now. I'm about to tell you something really freaky. Did you win a 9-ball? That's pretty cool, Captain Obvious. So my brother used to, are you ready for this? He had a booger collection. He had a booger collection. But he had a very unique place that he stored his boogers. On the ceiling of his side of the room. His side of the black tape. He would take a schmovie, put it on the end of the pool cue, and stick it on the ceiling. Is anybody freaking out right now? Anybody like going, that's really gross? It's true. He knew Mom didn't come into the room and look up. She just didn't do that. She looked down and around. Booger collection on the ceiling. Made me so, I'm still freaked out by it. Okay? Who does that? Who decides I'm going to put it on a pool cue and do a swipey? That was my brother. So he comes home with a mouse, and he doesn't want my parents to know that we've brought a mouse in. So he hides it underneath his bed. Okay? They all dried up and stayed there. You had to chisel them off later. Anyways, he's got a mouse living under his bed. Big mistake was made at this point. The box was made out of a shoebox, cardboard. Cardboard. How many people think that the mouse stayed inside the box for very long? How many people? Give me 5 people that think the mouse ate his way out of a corner. Okay? Day 3 or day 4, he goes to pull the box out and he's, oh my God. The mouse is gone. Okay? And he doesn't want to tell Mom and Dad. And I'm sworn to secrecy. Or he might put a booger collection on my side. I don't know. Within, let me say, 2 months, we had mice throughout our house, everywhere. And droppings, you'd see droppings in the morning. We had mice everywhere. Turns out it must have been a pregnant mouse, because there's only one that he brought home. I think she was a girl mouse, and we're pretty sure it was pregnant. Because after we had this infestation, we'd never had a mouse in our whole life in our house. They're in the cupboards. They're going through the grain. They're eating everything they can find. They're multiplying faster, and my mom and dad are freaking out. Where did these mice come from? That's when we broke down and told the truth. But now it became the kids' job, 6 of us, to bait the mouse traps, and place them around. And every once in a while, especially at night, you'd hear a snap. And you'd go, oh, geez, I gotta go get rid of a mouse with a broken neck tomorrow morning. And that was our job. Our parents punished us by making us be the rat control. It wasn't working. The mice were winning. Okay? They were absolutely winning the war. And we were doing the cheese, and someone told us, you know what's the best bait you can put on a mouse trap? We're all ears. Peanut butter's a very good one. Peanut butter, super good one. But the best was you take a walnut and take a lighter and you singe and burn the walnut. It's kind of like an acrid smell. and you put the walnut on the mouse trap, and they would, man, the walnut trap was the one that was catching the most, and yet still the mice are winning. Guess what we ended up doing? What would have been the best thing to do? There you go, Uncle Paulie. We got a cat. Kinky. Because he had a kinky tail. We got a cat. Kinky was a killer. Killer, I tell you. Okay? Within weeks, gone. Mouse problem over. But do you think we ever got permission to bring another animal into the house besides a cat and a dog? Never. Tribal science, yeah, my cat was, we called him Kinky because of his tail. He was half Manx and half regular alley cat. And I think Manx don't have tails. So he ended up with a crooked tail. Oh, you guys, everyone in here's had a crooked tail cat. Kinky was my cat. Kinky only listened to me. Okay? So Kinky, the killer cat, solved the mouse problem. Okay? Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right, Santa. He was proud of his catches. He'd bring them to you. Lay them at your feet. Go, here you go. I got another one. So Kinky the cat. Kinky the killer cat. I'm telling you, Captain Obvious. Best cat ever. Best cat ever. Killer. And he was really sweet and sensitive and wanted to purr and be pet until he thought he heard a mouse. And that was it. I'm getting that mouse. What a crazy stories I'm telling you guys this morning. Okay? Okay. Booger collections and killer cats. We have skunks around here. Did you know that? I'm not used to skunks. A couple of times now I've gone out in the morning and you can tell there was a skunk somewhere in the neighborhood that evening or that night because we've got that skunk smell. And it kind of bugs me and bothers me because I don't want Ruffy to get sprayed. I'm thinking about that out loud. Ruffy, be careful out there. It's a rough world. Okay? Kinky the killer cat. I am going to... Yeah, Nerdy, the skunks... I only moved 7 miles and we never had a single skunky situational 7 miles away. But moving here... Yeah. And no, Greenie, it's not. It's not good weed. You can tell the difference. We could tell the difference. I walked into a liquor store recently, and inside the liquor store smelled like a skunk. And I turned to one of the guys in the store. I go, is that weed or is that a skunk? And he goes, aren't they the same thing? I said, well, yeah. Okay. Okay, I just wrote down a car part and it wasn't alternator. It is not alternator. So if you guess alternator, you're wasting a guess. What car part did I just write down on this paper in front of me? The first person to guess this car part, I'm going to send a pack of supplemental supplements. Go. What did I just write down? Every car is going to have one of these. Every car is going to have one of these. Might have more, but guaranteed it's going to have one. Okay? What did I just write down? Every car has one of these. You kind of need it to drive safely. Okay? What did I just write down? Okay? What did I write down? Some good guesses here, but nobody's got it right so far. There it is, Dando, killing the game. Dando, rear view mirror. Rear view mirror, Dando, ka-ching! Dando! Congratulations, Denny Dan. Dan, send me your address. Send me your address. I'm going to send you a pack of supplemental supplements. Okay? And it should get to you pretty quickly because we live close. Actually, I lived 7 miles closer to you than I did a couple of weeks ago. So, supplemental supplements going to Dan. We met Dan in person a couple of weeks ago when we were doing garage sales. One heck of a nice man. So we're going to be glad to send him that. Okay? Congratulations to Dan. Who likes doing guessing flowers and guessing car parts instead of always doing numbers between 1 and 50? By the way, I found my little thing that does numbers 1 through 50, but I'm like, let's take a break on the 1 through 50 this week. Let's be a little different, right? So guessing is fun. I agree, guessing is fun. So far today, we need to get something from Cleany, from Wazzy, and from Dando, okay? This morning, we got this week's Tricycle Day newsletter. Let me read a couple of things from it to you guys, okay? Oh, speaking of merch, Herbie, are you guys working on a design for the Rocky Mountain Mush Fest? I agree, Nerdy, they're really good this morning, right? Rocky Mountain Mush Fest. Submit your designs for a Rocky Mountain Mush Fest ideas to Nerd, Deborah Pearl, or Niffer Mama. And if you can't reach them, you can email it to me and I'll send it to them. And the person that they choose to use, their design is going to get a half ounce of supplementary, supplemental supplements from me, as well as it'll be fun to see your design on the merch. You don't have to be going to participate. I expect a little more participation, please. Just anything. Do a stick figure drawing. I don't care. But participate. Yesterday, I only had one person send me a submission. Nerdy, you've got some others? Okay. Good. I'm glad you're getting them. All right? If you're sending them to me, that's okay too. I send it directly. Tomorrow is the last day for you to submit your design idea, and then Friday they're going to award the person that they pick, and then we'll be getting your address and sending you off a winning prize. Okay? We don't talk religion here, and we don't talk politics here, generally speaking. We don't. We avoid those topics. They do creep into our conversations, not so much political, but we will touch on religion in different ways, mostly as how psilocybin and or some of these psychotropic drugs are used in for religious purposes. Check this out. I want to read this to you. That's right, Nerdy. We can talk about it if it's in Tricycle Day. Do you have a complicated relationship with religion? That's an answer. That's not. It's a question that I'm looking for an answer. Do you have a complicated relationship with religion? I don't. I used to. But not anymore. Now my religion is mushrooms. So I got it very uncomplicated, but I used to. And then I had a crisis of faith. And no, first of all, I changed from Catholic to born again guy, right? And born again guys are they're supposed to tell the whole world that they're right. It's just what we're supposed to do when that. So we do soapbox stuff. And then you're doing it and you're starting to not believe what you're doing, but you keep doing it. And then you stop practicing what you're preaching. Okay. If you have a complicated relationship with religion, join the club. Other members of this club include people like Kanye West, who only prays during flight turbulence. And now members of the Complicated Religion Club are people in the psychedelic research community. After years of delays, we finally got the results from a Johns Hopkins infamous psilocybin study on religious leaders. Johns Hopkins years ago did a research study with a certain group of religious leaders from different disciplines, different religions. Okay? From a data perspective, the research does not disappoint. Unfortunately, the divine revelations came at the side of federal violations that would make even a televangelist blush. That's hard to do. That's actually, if you think about it, it's very hard to get a televangelist to blush. They get up to some crazy stuff, those guys. The different hotels and motels and things that they do. I don't know. Anyways, first let's break down the findings. Is anybody interested? Who's interested? Give me 5 people that are interested. That's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. Okay, here's 5. That's good enough. Let's go. First, let's break down the findings. This study, led by the late Roland Griffiths, gave psilocybin to 29 religious leaders from Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and Buddhism. Here's what happened when they met the mushroom. 96% of them rated the psilocybin experience among the top 5 most spiritually significant times of their life. %, pretty big percentage there. That's rated as one of the top 5 spiritual experiences of their life. Pulpit power. Did it give them pulpit power? Did they have more power at the pulpit? 79% of them said it made them more effective religious leaders. %, reported, wait for this one, this might be my favorite. 71% of them reported an increased appreciation for other religious traditions. Made them less prejudiced, less bias against other religions, more open. That's a beautiful thing. Especially among religious leaders who think that theirs is the right way and everyone else's is wrong. 88% of them wanted to take psilocybin again under legal circumstances. I'll do that again, if legally and all, but I would do that again. The effects were durable. At a 16-month follow-up, the clergy still reported a positive impact on prayer, spiritual awareness, and job performance. Several even called it the single most profound experience of their life. Now here's where things get unholy. Earlier this year, Johns Hopkins confirmed that the study violated federal human subjects protections in multiple ways, including undisclosed conflicts of interest, unapproved team members, and a hidden funding source. The violations were so bad they had to be reported to the FDA. We don't doubt that these leaders had genuinely life-changing experiences, not in the slightest. But if researchers want to prove that psychedelic trips are the common core of all religions, they might consider swapping a few God-fearing team members for some psilocybin-using ones. Neat article. Neat article. I don't doubt any of it. Quick story here. If you're going to go hiking, me too, Greenie. If you're going to go hiking, and no one's telling you don't trip when you're out hiking. No one's saying that. Especially if you're going with a couple of pals and you're tripping. Well, you got each other's back out there, right? Wait for this one. Wait for this one. Where is it? Oh, people are funny. Okay, you ready? Derek Anderson's dosing in a forest bath. Hey, before I go here, is anybody watching that show or has watched that show, 9 Perfect Strangers? 9 Perfect Strangers. Is anybody checking that one out? At first, I was liking the show. I was. This is my opinion. This is all it is. And everybody has an opinion, and they're like buttholes. They all stink. Okay? The acting in it is superb. Superb. Great acting. What bothers me about, I'm on like episode 6 or something, and I haven't finished it. Sue, I liked the first half too. But when I found out that she was dosing them without them knowing, I was like, no, I just can't get behind this. And I understand the concept. I get the idea of the show. But the operator of this retreat, a health and wellness retreat, starts dosing the guests, the 9 guests, without them knowing. And I thought, that's a violation. To me, it's an extreme violation, and I hate to see it as popular culture. I just don't like to see that. You know what I'm talking about, Nif? The minute I saw her do that, I was like, we're giving, at the end of the day, that's the wrong message. Okay? And yeah, she keeps upping the dose on him. And after a while, she tells him what she's doing. But between you and me, let's have full disclosure if we're going to be dosing and involving somebody. Let's have complete and full disclosure. Don't go slippy on them and then see what happens. Segue to this story. A pair of hikers in New York called emergency services to report that a 3rd member of their group had died. 3 guys go out hiking. One of them dies. But when a park ranger responded to rescue them, It turned out they were just high on hallucinogenic mushrooms, the officials said. I'm glad most of you agree with me. It was my opinion, and I'd been watching the show last week, and I was going to say something sooner. But then there's an article in today's Tricycle News today, and they were kind of on the positive side for it. And I'm like, I think you guys are missing the part where she dosed them without their consent. And once that got involved, once that got into the story, to me, I'm like, even watching the rest of it is kind of giving my approval to it. So I sort of stepped out. The third hiker was actually uninjured, and he was not dead. The hikers were in an altered mental state, according to a report issued by parks officials. The incident took place on the 24th of May in the Cascade Mountains in the Adirondacks of upstate New York. The third person had also called 911 during the hike, and he wasn't injured. They were allowed to continue their camping trip, the third guy, while the pair that had called in for their dead friend were taken to the police. Details of this backcountry saga were reported on Wednesday in a weekly bulletin. It describes how a forest ranger responded to the 911 call of a reportedly deceased hiker. After the pair called to report the third member of their hiking party had died, they got lost. Before the ranger arrived to find the group, they had met a summit steward, a guy whose job it is to stand at the top of the mountain and to ensure the conservation of the sensitive alpine habitat. The two hikers told the steward they were lost. A ranger then arrived and escorted the two hikers who had ingested hallucinogenic mushrooms to a waiting ambulance and the New York State Police Unit. The third hiker was taken back to his campsite. None of the hikers were named in the report, and it's unclear whether they are in any legal trouble following the bad trip. Psychedelic mushrooms are illegal for recreational use in New York. However, there are several bills being introduced by the state legislature to legalize it. I think there's a moral to that story, somewhere in there. Make sure your friend isn't dead before you report him dead, especially if you're tripping, because you might end up in an ambulance and in a police unit. Be careful out there, okay? Be very, very careful out there. Maybe not dose as much. That's what I'm thinking too, nerdy. Don't dose as much, especially out there. Crazy. My friend is dead. No, he's not. He's just super trippy. Cleanie, that's a terrible thing. I wouldn't want to be there with you. Anyways, that was interesting stuff. Give me 5 people that, what the heck are we doing out there? Does time go by fast here, you guys? Does time go by fast here? Like, it's almost 10 o'clock already. It's like, there it went. That's what I get for telling stories about collections and escaped mice. Time flies when we're in here. So I'm freaking out. In many Latin countries, we have a saying that goes, Nide aquí, nide allá, meaning not from here, not from there. It still resonates, this saying. Even though this person has been undocumented, has been a documented citizen for 8 years, that Latin American saying still resonates with her. The reason it resonates is because she says, I don't know if I'll ever feel like I belong to this country or any other. But what I do know is that I belong to myself. I'm so over countries and borders and flags and fences. I'm so over belonging to this group or to that group. Let's start out with belonging to ourselves. I define connection. I define connection as the energy that exists between people, but only when energy, it exists between people, but only when they feel heard and valued. When you feel heard and you feel valued, and I feel heard and I feel valued, there's an energy. That happens here at T. It happens here every single day, and it makes time fly by. When they can give, or you can give and receive without judgment. There's very little judgment here, if any. That's a very, very safe place to be. When you know you can go there and you can say any goofy thing you want. You could be Jesus Christ in Australia. You could be a killer green table. You could be mushy. You could be anyone, and it's okay. Nobody has ever said, don't be you here. The world's told me don't be you so many times and in so many other venues, but not here. You really feel like you belong when you can derive sustenance and strength from a relationship. Connection is in our neurobiology. It is part of our brain wave features. We cannot do it alone. Oh, I thought I could. Oh, I'm going to be the loner of the good loans. I don't need anybody else. I'm pretty self-sufficient. I got this. I got this handled. Stinking thinking. That's stinking thinking. That's ego. You know what ego is? Back in the day in the program that I was in, you know what ego is? Ego is edging God out. I got this. I can do this by myself. I got this. I got this. No, you don't. You don't have anything by yourself at the end of the day. From the time we were born, we were depending on something or someone to help us. It's still okay, 67 years later, to depend on people to help me, to feel belonged. Connection is in our neurobiology. That is why our experiences of disconnection are so painful. And anybody ever experienced disconnection? Oh, that's the beginning of depression for me. That's the beginning of isolation. That's the beginning of curtain peeping. That's the beginning of don't let the sun in. How painful. When you can live a life where you're dancing in the sun with friends. Because you belong. Chronic disconnection leads to isolation, loneliness, and the feeling of powerlessness. Listen to this. Here's how Judith Jordan explains disconnection. We're talking about connection and belonging all this week. RCT sees disconnection as normative and inevitable in relationships. They occur when one person misunderstands, invalidates, excludes, humiliates, or injures the other person in some way. This is the ultimate bully. Acute disconnections occur frequently in all relationships. That's how my marriage ended. Chronic disconnection with that person. Didn't validate, didn't care too much about their feelings, would even humiliate the person on occasion through some of the things you'd say. Today's a good day for people that are like Waz, and tomorrow like Nippy, and don't wait for just anniversaries to be more connected to the people that you love. Acute disconnection frequently happens in relationships. If they can be addressed and reworked, they're not problematic. In fact, they can become places of enormous growth. If you can admit your part in it, ask for amends and work on it from a different angle, the two people, you can have amazing growth. You actually can be grateful for having had that moments and time period of disconnected. When an injured person, particularly one who has less power, can represent their experience of disconnection or pain to the more powerful person and be responded to with interest or concern, empathy, the less powerful, the hurt person, has a sense of mattering, of having an effect on the other person. This strengthens the connection, as well as a sense of relational competence. If you have a little more power, reach out, empathize, bring that person closer to you with your strengths, because you have flaws too. Bring that person closer to you. It's the ultimate act of kindness. This right here is bespeaking the ultimate act of kindness, because you can change somebody's whole relationship, not just with you, but with the whole world. With the whole world. You should see yesterday, mailman comes, I'm in a new spot. He picks up some packages at the front door, and I saw him coming. I peeped the door open, and I just look out, and I go, hey, I just want to thank you, man. And he looked at me like he hadn't been thanked in 100 years just for doing his job. He thinks, oh, I'm just doing my job. He says, no, you're doing so much more than your job. I can't tell you what's in the packages. I didn't say all of this. But just thanking him. I have more of a connection right now with my mailman. My mailman's gonna say, that's that nice guy's porch I pick up packages from. Have a different level of interconnection through one simple phrase and an act of kindness, opening the door to just say thank you. Jordan goes on to explain that when disconnection is not addressed, as frequently occurs in power structures, chronic disconnection and disempowerment arise, and the person often loses touch with their own feelings and their own experiences through their chronic disconnection. We are the angels of connection. We have the power to connect. It's an amazing power. It's an amazing power. It starts with the lack of judgment, no judgment. It starts with not taking it personal. That person's not taking, it's not about you. It's going to be about them. And don't have expectations of some kind of big party because you did something decent. You're doing what feels good to your soul. And as a result, you're growing no matter what. And you're getting more and more connected. The kinder you can be, the less judgmental you can be, the less worrying about what you look like and what other people think about you, and just connect. And I'm not even kidding you. You should have seen the look on my mailman's face. He was like, I don't think that guy, and this is, I don't know, I'm just guessing. I don't think too many people open the door and thank him. And I'm not going to do it every day because then he's going to think I'm a weirdo. But you got to do that. You want to do that. I thank the guy that's dropped off the pod and picked it up. I thank all my friends that helped me move. What an interconnectedness you have when you're moving. And you got a bunch of strong guys there and they're lifting something you can't lift. And you just go, man, I'm so blessed to have friends that I've connected with over these years, that I've made these relationships. And you know what? I can make those relationships even deeper. Ask Dando here as an example. Dando, do we have a deeper relationship now? Yeah, we do. Disconnectedness hurts more than just our feelings. We can actually physically feel disconnectedness. And a lot of us end up in depression cycles, and here come the SSRIs and everything else. And I believe to the core of my being that I'm not even going to put a percentage on it, but I think it's a really high percentage of depression can be cured through connection and kindness. Give me 5 people that can agree with that. And if you are agreeing with it, even if you don't say so, but you're agreeing with it, go be a messenger of connectedness. Go connect. You're bringing kindness. You're taking pain away from people's lives. You're powerful. Incredibly powerful. And you can see it in teeny little glimpses, like the mailman's eyes when he went, what? Did you just say thank you? And you're going, you know, if it weren't for you, my friends wouldn't be getting their pack. I didn't tell them this, but this is my soul. If it weren't for you, sir, my friends wouldn't be getting their packages, and the ripple wouldn't be as big. So all the way down to the mailman, exhibit goodness and kindness. Have a great day, you guys. Mr. Cucumber, nice to see you here. Have a great day. Empathy and compassion and kindness. Compassion puts us in a different place. Just deliver goodness. Deliver kindness. We're the connectors. We're back to, you know what the Pope is? Do you remember what the Pope? Not doing religion, but popes usually are pretty holy dudes. They don't get there by accident. Not today's popes. The old ones, there was a lot of politics and stuff. You know what the Pope is? It's called the pontiff. It's called a pontiff. What is a pontiff, you guys? What is a pontiff? That's not a rhetorical question. What is a pontiff? We're all pontiffs. Cleany said it. Bridge builders. A bridge builder. We're building bridges. We are bridge builders. That's what a pontiff is. Literally. Go pontify. Is that a word? I don't know. But go be a pontiff. You can build bridges to anything and everything in your life. And the bridges are not, guess what happens with the bridge? It doesn't judge what's crossing it. It doesn't say, nope, I don't want this one to go from A to B across my bridge. It doesn't judge. It's just a bridge because it's a bridge. Go have a wonderful day, you guys. Sammy P says, build them, don't burn them. Michael Patterson says, spread Shanti. I agree. Go have a good day right now. I'm going to go pontify right now. And I don't need the little hat or the glass dome car. Have a great day. Time flew by too fast today. Cleany and Sammy P and Michael and Sanam and Mr. Phillips and Jesse James and Rodmond and Glassic and Susu and Deborah the Pearl, Aaron and Sanam and Shy. Good morning, Shy. And Cleany and Jesse James and Nipper. Happy anniversary tomorrow, but you could celebrate it today too if you want. Andreas Viegas. That's exactly what we are. We can be mycelium. Boop. Who else do we have on here? Jesus Christ in Australia. Wes, he's smoking them if he's got them. Joe D's and Carnivorous. Carnivorous and Captain Obvious. We're speaking metaphorically, Carnivorous, not engineers. Glassic and Mushy. Love you too. And Herbie Von Werby Kebab. Laura Divine, I love you. Have a divine day. Nippy and Billy D and Donnie Fike and Jolie and Shy and Nipper and Aaron. Pops, peace, love. 4 things we really do try to practice. I've made some mistakes, but we get back at the practice board and we keep working on this. Being impeccable, not taking things personal, not having expectations. And as HP would be able to tell us, HP tells us at the end all the time, what is it, HP? What's the 4th one? What's the 4th one? That's okay, Carney. The 4th one, do your best. Thank someone today that you haven't thanked in a while. Connect. Build. Have a good day.